My name is Vasu Chetty. I team lead a group within IT that's called Academic Computing. So our responsibility is to support teaching and learning and research, and we handle a lot of the academic software. So my understanding is that the GSP students, the majority of you would have not done an undergrad at UKZN. So you need to familiarize yourselves with our systems and how things are done. And also, it must be quite a daunting time, especially if everything is online and how it needs to work. So I'll give you some email addresses, some phone numbers, things that'll be useful to you guys going forward. Also, I must say the GSP is one of the more well-organized departments within the institution. I know quite a few of them. I should also say I don't really do these presentations. My staff generally do it, but they unwell and on leave and stuff. So I'll do my best to try and get through this thing without causing too much of harm. As Lungile said, I don't mind if you ask questions when I show you something, or you can put it in the chat. I'm open to either or, so it doesn't really matter. You guys can decide what works best for you. And obviously, the more questions you ask, the easier it is for you, so you can understand if you're stuck at something and that type of thing. All right, I think that's enough of my face, to be honest. Let me share my screen. Okay. So as a postgraduate student, there's quite a few platforms that you'll be working through, but I'm going to show you kind of like the most important ones and to get you started. Also, I'm going to share this particular presentation with Lungile. She'll share it with you. And I have a few help files that I'll send to her, and then she will also send to you guys. So it'll be easy for you to navigate around what needs to happen. I think being a postgrad at the GSB, and most of your stuff is after hours, it'll be difficult for you to get assistance after hours. That's the first thing. So even though the phone numbers, I think the helpline stops at about 4:30. So if you call during the day, you'll be able to get some assistance with that. But obviously, if you send emails, they'll respond to your emails the same day or the following day, that type of thing. Okay. So as a postgraduate student, let me just see, are there any questions from you guys before we get started? Anything you want to know before we start? Maybe you've experienced some of the issues currently that now that you've a registered student, IT related, obviously. I can't help you with other stuff. So if there's anything that you have, anything you want to query, you need to know. So I've opened up the chat on my side so I can see if you have any questions. I mean, really use the session to get as much information as possible. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is passwords and logging in. How you need to log in and your passwords, that type of thing. Okay, so there's one in the Q&A. How do I access my student email address? Good, good, good. Anyone else? Please, can you touch on how to set up our student email account? Okay, we'll go to student. I'm not the best person for that, but I'll tell you how that works. I'll give you an indication. So obviously, there were some issues in accessing your student email. Anything else, guys? Cool. So Tuli, I'll answer your question. Krian, I'll get to yours as well. Password for email is not working. Yeah, I think it's better to put it in the chat so everyone can see your question. It may be a bit more useful. Password for email is not working. How do I reset it? Okay, cool. I'm going to cover that in the first sort of section. I just want to see if any of my guys are here. Okay. Kolya's here. Okay. Harold is here. Okay, your questions can come through. That's cool. Oh, Kristen's here. All right, Kristen will be able to answer a few questions as well. Okay. 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 Okay, so the class is filling up to about 70 odd. Okay. I'm just going down the list to see. Okay. 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 Okay I know anyone else. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. I don't need that. I don't have a login email and password. How do I get it? Okay, I'll get to that. Can we use our personal emails rather than UKZN? Rasan, very important question. Uh, no, you cannot. It's very important that you use your UKZN email, especially as a postgrad, because all correspondence between you and your academic supervisor, all of that needs to be traced and kept. When I go through the systems that we use, you'll see why that's quite important for getting messages, emails, important announcements. I think it's important. So it's very important that you use your UKZN student email. I completed my undergrad at UKZN, however, I've forgotten the password. Okay. Kashina, don't worry about that. We'll sort that out for you. How long can I keep my password? Ooh, I don't know if we have a policy for changing passwords for students. I'll have to double check. I don't think we have it. We do rotate it. I don't know. Kristen, if you're on the call, maybe you can answer that. I don't know. I don't think we have a limit on your password. I think it stays with you until you change it. How to get my student email address? Okay. Okay, some questions. All right. So cool. We've got plenty of questions. Hopefully I cover it in the session that I'm doing. Okay, let's get started. Let's minimize that. Do we use the same logins on iEnabler, Student Central, and Student Email? I'm able to access iEnabler, but I'm struggling to access Student Central. Good question. I don't want to confuse people, but just for Mbongeni, it's not the same login details. Your iEnabler is different. Your Student Central is different. That's the only one that's different, even though we use single sign-on at the institution, which means one username and password for everything. Student Central works differently. All right. To reset password. Okay, we're getting to that. Okay, I think I can get started. It's quite a few questions. Okay, so once you register, you get a default LAN login, and that is student number at your date of birth. That's your default login, LAN login. So when you log on to a machine or when you come onto campus, if you log on to any of the the laptops or workstations at the institution, your LAN password is, so this is your standard password that you get as a student. So when you get here, you'll have a username or you'll have a student number. So your student number will be, something like 2025, something, something, something at stu.ukzn.ac.za. That'll be your username. So you'll have the same username for all systems that you use, correct? Except your password for Student Central will be different. So your default password, so everyone has a username, which is your student number at STU, and your default password that they give you is your date of birth. So if you're born on the 26th of June, 1997, your password will be STU at 2606/1997. So it's day, month, and the year is 4 characters, right? So it's capital S, lowercase tu, at, and the thing. So you can try that, right? So that's your starting point. So I'll show you a few ways on how you can navigate to get to it, but as long as you understand the first part of it. So the first part really is you have a default username, which is your student number at STU, and we give you a standard password, which is only applicable to you. All right, so it'll be your password will be your STU at date, month, and year. All right. So as soon as you get this, when you log in for the first time, if you're having difficulties, you can reset your password, and that happens at https://password at ukzn.ac.za. So that's where you'll access. You get into password, you put your default password, which is this one that I just gave you now, and you'll change it to a new password. Obviously, your password must have minimum characters, letters, numbers, those type of things. That's important to do. All right, so try and get it right the first time. You don't have any issues with it. All right, so you know what your username is? So your username will be your student number at stu.ukzn.ac.za. as I mentioned, at UKZN, we use something called single sign-on. So when you log into your email, it'll be the same password for Moodle, for the internet, for all of those things. Right? So it's one password for everything. We try and make it fairly secure. All right. So far, so good. Okay. Also, there's some of the things. So your new password must be 8 or more characters, one capital, one small, numbers, letters, special characters, etc., etc. Okay, please make sure your password does not contain any personal information, and you shouldn't share your username and password with anyone. That's quite important because if something happens on your account and it's traced back, 'cause obviously we have logs of everything, and if you have found to have infringed on that, if you've handed out your password to someone else, then you're going to have issues with that. All right, so just be careful with that. Okay, so there's an example of a password, which is a pretty poor password. Please don't use passwords like this, but so you need to have at least, it's just an example of at least 8 characters, one capital, one special character, and one number at least. All right, so you can see that. Okay, so as you can see, you can enter all your information and then you update your password. Pretty straightforward stuff. All right, let's move on. All right, if you're unable to reset your password, this is quite an important email address for you. It's itstudenthelp@ukzn.ac.za. All right, or you can call 260-4000. Right, and select option 1, and this is only available to you from 8 in the morning to 4:30, Monday to Friday. All right, so that email address is quite important for you guys. itstudenthelp@ukzn.ac.za. So first try to reset your password. I've given you the link where you can do that. It's password at, sorry, it's, yeah, https://password.ukzn.ac.za. You can change your password there. All right, excellent. All right, don't share. Okay, this is standard stuff. Okay, before I go there, let me just, I see some questions in the chat. Let me just check how I can help you. All right. Okay, will there be any contact classes during the year, concurrent to online classes? You'll have to speak to Lungile about that. I'm just covering some of the platforms that we deal with here. All right. Will this presentation, yes, I'll share the presentation. Okay, Kristen's put up also some useful information for you guys. You can use this site to update your password, federation.ukzn, but the password one is pretty easy, but obviously he's put up, we've got more than one way to reset your password. All right, so you can see what's the requirements. If I still get in, I've emailed student help. Tomorrow morning I'll call you and sort your problems out. Don't email student help. Do not use your name, surname. Okay, so those are basic things, right? Don't use your name, your date of birth. You can't have personal details there. So please put some important information up. Thank you for joining us this evening. We will share the okay, Lungila is telling you. Thank you so much. Okay, all classes are online. Sorry, I didn't see that she's answered your questions already. Tried to reset my password, but it says my account is blocked. It's possible because you've tried too many times and it's blocked. So I think the best thing would be to send an email to IT Student Help or call that number in the morning and see if they can reset it for you. All right, let's go to the Q&A quickly. How long can I keep my password? How do I get my student email? Okay, so we'll cover those things. Okay, let's get back to the presentation. So I'm going to go through some of these things and I'll log on to the systems and show you what they look like. So it'll just be a lot more familiar to you. Okay, so at the university, we use a learning management system called Moodle, right? Although Moodle is the software, but the actual name of it that you guys will be referred, maybe let's clear this up. So some lecturers will call it Moodle, some will say Learn, but they're talking about the same thing, right? So if a lecturer says Moodle, they actually mean the same system that I'm going to be showing you now. And if some of them say Learn, it's both one in the same thing. Some lecturers have been here longer than others. So Moodle is the software. Some of them just refer to it as your learning management system, and some use Learn 25. So every year we change the year. So this year it's Learn 2025. Last year it was Learn 2024, and obviously next year it'll be Learn 2026. Okay, so to access it, it's https://learn2025@ukzn.ac.za. So I'll show you this logging in, right? So you click on the top right-hand corner to log in. You'll enter your username, which is your student number, right? So here your username is only your student number. You don't have to put the full thing in. So it's just your student number. You can leave out the @stu.ukzn.ac.za. All right, put your password in, log in, boom. Okay, so the learning management system is pretty important, but I'll show it to you now, right? Let's just go through this. How you see your courses, how you access your learning material. We have an app as well. You can download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store. All right, so you just go onto it and you'll find the Moodle or the Learn app. That's what it'll be called. Okay. Turn it in. So the first system that I spoke about, so obviously the password thing we understand, right? The second thing was our learning management system, which is Moodle, and I'll show you Moodle just now. And the next thing I want to talk about is Turnitin. So as a postgraduate student, you'll need to submit all your assignments through Turnitin. So Turnitin is software where the software, once you submit your assignment or your thesis, your dissertation, whatever you submit to it, it starts comparing the work that's in this class. So for example, as everyone uploads their assignments, it'll compare it to everyone in the class and you'll get a score for it to say how much of it is similar to each other's work. So what they're preventing is copying from each other, using the same sort of work. So that's just one aspect, right? It compares everyone's work. It also compares against internet documents, internet data, student repositories, journals, publications, etc., etc. So it checks on the internet, it checks everywhere. So Turnitin is possibly the best sort of software that you can get, because what it does is, I think in your library section, they would have spoken to you when the library did a presentation, they would have spoken to you about the journals and publications that we have. So EBSCOhost, PubInet, Sabinet, all of those journals that are available to you guys. So even if you copy anything out of those journals, Turnitin can pick it up because Turnitin has access into those journals. So it'll pick it up and it'll show you that this is where you've copied it from. But I think your lecturers will speak to you about plagiarism and how you need to reference and what do you take and what you don't take, that type of thing. So IT, that's not our responsibility. Okay. So this software is really important to you. Also, there's a few things I want to say about the software before I move any further. This software is very problematic, meaning logging in, usernames, password, it becomes a bit complicated. So for this system here, we don't have single sign-on. So you have to create an account. I'll show you how you create an account. But having said that, we are in the process, and I think by the time you get your first assignment, we would have completed the process. So we're going to now allow Turnitin to work through Moodle, through your learning management system. So you'll go onto Moodle, and inside of there will be your assignment. You click on it, you'll submit it, and Turnitin will check it automatically. So you don't have to create a username and a password. But I'm just going to show you how that process works in case we have any difficulties with that implementation. I'm hoping for it to be completed within the next 2 weeks. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing about Turnitin, if you are using it on the website, which is currently how it's set up, make sure you're using it through Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. That's only the browsers that you should be using, right, to prevent any other issues that you may have. So Explorer and Edge give you problems. I won't recommend using those browsers. Actually, if you use Google and you update it all the time, if you use Chrome and you update it all the time, it has the latest patches and fixes. It's really a secure browser, so you won't have any issues with it. So my suggestion is use Chrome for virtually everything. And obviously, if you've got a MacBook, you can use Safari. But even on your Mac, you can download Chrome and use it. Internet banking, all of it. Chrome is probably the best lot to use. All right. So when you're having any issues, make sure that's one of the first questions a consultant will ask you. Are you using Chrome? All right. So that's what Turnitin. So Turnitin is really it's similarity checking software, right? It's checking to see if people have the same work, the same sentences, same paragraphs, if they've copied from each other, or you've just taken chunks off the internet and try to use it for yourself. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so when you create an account, I'll show you this process and I'll talk you through it. But like I said, I'm hoping by the time you get your first assignment, we'll have this integrated into Moodle, so you don't have to go through this process. So all of you are new users. You won't have Turnitin accounts. So if you don't have a Turnitin account, you have to create one. And you can only create an account after your lecturer gives you an ID and a password. So please don't go out and try and create an account. Then you're going to block your email address and you won't be able to go any further. So wait for your lecturer to give you an ID and a password before you create this account. Very important. The other important thing to say about Turnitin, if you send us an email from a non-UKZN account, we will not assist you with Turnitin. Actually, we won't assist you with most things. So always use your UKZN email address. I know it's a bit cumbersome if you're working, you have your private email that you're on, or your work email that you're going to work from, and it's a bit cumbersome to change between student and work. However, the institution is very clear in that you must use your UKZN student email address when corresponding with us. Very important, especially for Turnitin. Okay, so make sure you have your student email up and running. Okay, the class ID and the enrollment key will give you, okay, your instructor or your lecturer will give you this. Okay. So I'll show you this as well, right? Go to turnitin.com, click login on the right-hand side. I'll go into the system. So just to show you what that looks like. So I've just put this in this presentation. So when you go through it, if you're creating one, you can follow the steps here. So email address, you'll click new user, you'll click here to create an account. If you have an existing account, so let's say I saw some of you in the chat saying that you're existing UKZN students and you can't remember your UKZN, your Turnitin credentials, click on your email address and say forgotten password. Click here and it will ask you a series of questions. You'll fill that in and it'll send you a link where you can change your password. Right? But it'll send it to your UKZN student email address. So it's important that you use that. So you can click on this. Alternatively, we do have an email address for students, which is turnitin@ukzn.ac.za. If you send an email to that account, we can send you a link to reset your password. Okay, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Like I said, try and hold on with this for a bit until we sort out the integration with Moodle. Uh, if if we do that in time, then you guys don't have to go through this process. All right, so you click new user to create an account. When you click new user, that ID and that password I was telling you about, your lecturer must give you this. So that's how you marry yourself into that lecturer's account. So you have an ID, you have an enrollment key, put your first name, put your last name. So maybe some tips when you're doing this. Capitalize your first letter and the rest all lowercase. Your last name, do the same thing. If you have double barrel surnames, it doesn't work so well, right? So if you can avoid it, try, because let's say you have a double barrel surname or a name, uh, where you put the dash, if you leave a space in between, all of those things become a bit sensitive. So just be careful when creating usernames and password, especially on this site. It can get problematic. Okay, so you put in your first name, you put in your last name. There's your email address. You confirm your email address. You enter a password. You confirm your password, and that's the way you create an account. So then it'll ask you a few things before your account is created. Secret questions. So if you click on this drop down, it asks you a few questions. So you pick a question, and I generally tell students, please pick your mother's maiden name because that will never change. Your favorite car can change, your favorite color can change, favorite boyfriend, favorite girlfriend, they can all change. So mother's maiden name will never change. So if you choose that, put your mother's maiden name here. Also very important, capitalize the first letter and lowercase the rest. And if you can avoid double-barreled, that would be important. All right, so you don't have issues. Now remember, all you're going to do is you're going to have problems logging in and no one's going to help you. You're going to be desperate. You're going to want to log in. You need to submit your assignment. It's late. So just be careful with those things. These are small things that you can do to save you a lot of time. All right. All right. I'm not a robot. Click that. Click on that to agree. Agree. Profile is created. All right. Then you can log into Turnitin, your email address, your password, log in. You should be in. Easy peasy. Okay. So this is just if you've forgotten your password or you can't log in. So try to log in a few times, because you're on the internet. You can type it incorrectly. It's a connectivity. So just be careful, right? So just try it once or twice. If it doesn't work, then reset it. But if you're 100% certain that's your password, just wait a while, maybe reset your browser and then do it again. But you won't have those issues if you using Chrome, Firefox, Safari. All right, click on next. So when you log on to Turnitin, this is what you'll get. You'll get something like this. All right. Okay, you won't have any names here. There won't be any class names. Or there may be. Your lecturer would have set up a class, possibly. But if you're enrolling in, so if you're a user that has a username and a password already, you log into Turnitin and you click on enroll in a class. That's the same ID and password your lecturer will given you. So if you've got 4 classes, 4 lecturers will give you 4 different IDs and passwords. So you log on to 4 different classes within Turnitin. Okay, it becomes a bit cumbersome, maybe a lot of information as well, but hopefully we sort the Moodle thing out for you guys and it'll be a lot easier. Okay, so you click on enroll in a class and then you put the class ID and the password, what your lecturer gave you, and you submit, and then you attach yourself to your lecturer's class. So every time you make a submission, your lecturer automatically gets it, gets the submission, your ID, your assignment. Okay. Account settings must be a valid username. If you forgot your password, confirm the password, your answer. Okay, so this is just your account settings. Not really important for you guys. Okay. A few things about this, but I think your lecturer may, or one of your lecturers, or maybe your lecturers will speak to you about how the Turnitin works. So the document viewer frame gives you some information. It tells you what your similarity index is. Your paper text tells you where you've copied your, or where you copied your information from. So if you, let's say you've taken it from another paper at UCT, it'll highlight here. Right, and the matching sources on the side will tell you where the most of the copying has come from. Right, 15% come from this side, 4% from there, 9%, 18, etc., etc. So it gives you all that information. So your lecturer can click on this and it'll open it up and say it was taken from this university, from this student paper, because it's all linked. Right, so just be careful. Not be careful. Just do the right thing and don't plagiarize work. Right, it's at a master's, well, at a master's level now. So this is like serious issues. Right. So I don't know if you're aware, but when you're presenting your dissertation, these are now legally binding documents. So if there's a case against you and the lecturer, some of them do go to court. They fight it in court. We have to go and present evidence, etc., etc. So it does become a legal matter. You don't want to go down that road. All right. So it gives you also information here about the title, the author, the paper text. It tells you what each of these things are. Okay, I'm not going to go into too many of these things. Okay, your match overview 4%. That'll be a good score to get. I think some lecturers say that you need to have like 10% and below. I'm not a fan of that because you could have your percentage could be quite high, but you could not have plagiarized anything in your document. But at this level, you work closely with your supervisor to get your dissertations up and running. It's important to have a good relationship with your supervisors because they understand how Turnitin works and they can help you to revise it. So maybe just a quick overview of how it works. So let's say you have an assignment, you submit it. You submit the assignment, and after a few minutes, it gives you a report and a match overview. It tells you what your percentage is. So let's say your percentage is 36. Right. So your lecturer looks at it, you look at it, your lecturer can advise you, your supervisor can advise you and say, listen, these are issues here, let's change this, da 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 da. When you make another submission, it'll overwrite the 36% that you have in there. And then the percentage may come down. It depends on if you've done it correctly. However, that percentage thing only works if your lecturer has set up the assignment settings correctly in Turnitin. So if they selected it to be overwritten, then that's a standard that we train them on what to do. That's a standard setting where you can overwrite a paper. Okay, so 3 overwrites, and thereafter, when you make your 4th submission, it has to be, you have to wait 48 hours or 24 hours until your previous submission. So you allowed 3 submissions, it'll overwrite it, no issues. But the 4th one, you have to wait 24 hours before you make a submission. Okay, but I'm sure one of your lecturers will go through this with you. Okay, so matching overview, it tells you there 4%, this paper was submitted to this university, they click on it, it'll give them information, right? So it gives you all that information, all the sources that it's coming from, and this is just some of the settings the lecturers would have used. All right, let's see if there's any questions. Listen, you're bombarding them with stuff. Let's see. Let me just go up here and see if I've missed anything. Oh, yes, the building is currently under construction. Your learn login, username. Okay, thanks, Christian. To reset, forgot password. Okay, good. How do we search the Moodle app on the App Store? Do we use the word Moodle or Learn 2025? Good question. I think it's Learn 2025. Moodle will give you a whole lot of other apps. So do the Learn 2025, UKZN Learn 2025. So this is the question I'm responding to, right? How do we search for the Moodle app on the App Store? So it'll be Learn 2025. So that's okay. So there's some information there. So Christian, I'm going to send them this information, but maybe you'll have a copy of this now anyway. Okay, your iEnabler password is the same as your learn. Okay, that's covered there. Good, 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 good. Okay, Christian is killing you all with information. Okay, let me do some Q&A and see if there's any. Okay, there was a chat. Where's my Q&A gone to? More. Oh, there we go. Okay. Dismissed. Okay, cool. Nothing in the Q&A. All right, cool. Let's move on. Just taking longer than I thought. So this is just your similarity reports. You can download the current view of it, your digital receipt, and your original file. All right, so your lecturers really want this here, the digital receipt. That's what you need to submit with your assignment because they want to see what that score is. All right. Also, maybe just some information. If it's blue, the text that you've submitted, if it's blue, there are no matching words. If it's green, it's 24% similarity. If it's yellow, so you make sense, right? 70 to 100, 75 to 100%. It's quite a lot. All right. Okay, Turnitin covered. But I'm going to show you Turnitin. I'll go into it just now. The last thing I think I have for you is Grammarly. So Grammarly is a digital writing tool. It's available to all students. You need to create an account. I'll show you how you do that. So Grammarly, what you can do is you submit your thesis or your paper to Grammarly, and it'll correct your grammar for you, make suggestions, and you can change it a little bit, right? And also, it's a learning tool. So if you make the same mistake over and over, it keeps correcting it, and then you learn a new way of doing it. Okay, so that's what it is. So I advise all of you postgraduate students to use Grammarly. You can use it on your email. You can use it on Word. And I think that's about it. I think you can also, there's a web version, but please make sure you follow these steps so you get the premium version, not the free version. There is a free Grammarly version. If you've got the free Grammarly version, that can be converted to the premier version that we have. Okay, it's pretty expensive software, so I suggest using it. I use it a lot. It's really useful. Okay, if you need an account, you'll send an email to learn@ukzn.ac.za, and in the subject, you type in Grammarly, and then we will send you an invite to get Grammarly. All right, so it's so you will send an email from your student inbox, learn@ukzn.ac.za, and in the subject, you put in Grammarly, and then you're a new user, it'll give you, just read up on these things, right? If you haven't received your invitation, it could be blocked for some reason, just add it to your safe sender list. Okay, so there's some examples of Grammarly. So you can see what is Grammarly, and then it changes, you click on it, and then the first one, applications, was spelled incorrect. So what she should have left this. So this word here, application, should have been, it's spelled incorrect. So you click on it, it chooses the correct spelling for you, and it changes it. All right. So Grammarly is pretty cool. So there's some important email addresses for you guys. If you're having a Turnitin issue, it's turnitin@ukzn.ac.za and we'll help you sort out your Turnitin problems, but it has to come from a UKZN email address. Grammarly, learn@ukzn.ac.za. That's a number that we have for you guys. I was going to say something about Turnitin. So Turnitin, I think as a postgrad, I should give you a warning about how this works. So let's say you submit a paper, or you've submitted, or there's a good example. Let's say you've done your honors at UKZN or anywhere, and you've submitted a paper through Turnitin. That honors paper will sit in the Turnitin database. And now you want to submit something very similar. You want to use your honors paper and build on it to do your GSB dissertation. And if you then submit a new paper and you've used a lot of your stuff from last year, your honors level, there'll be a conflict, even though you're the same author, and the percentage will be quite high. So those papers need to be removed from the database. So what we can do is you'll send us an email and say, please remove these papers. When you send that, you must send us your submission ID. What a submission ID is, when you submit a paper to Turnitin, Turnitin sends you an email with a submission ID. So that paper gets like a document ID. That is important for us. They send us the submission IDs and we can remove it. But when you want to remove papers, send us an email to Turnitin, but also CC your supervisor. So your supervisor needs to know what's going on. All right. What else? That's it. We're done. Oh, hold on. Let me stop the share. I want to show you a few things quickly. Let me just go to the chat. Okay, I've tried several times to use iEnabler password on LAN, but I can't access it. Okay, you probably have to call in the call center tomorrow. I think maybe make a call to them and let them try and help you with it. Can your supervisor, there's a good question here. Can your supervisor view your Turnitin score for review changes only if you submitted before the assignment deadline, or this can be done after the deadline? Good question. So the question is, can your supervisor view your Turnitin score? So remember, your Turnitin score is to help you to work better when you're submitting your thesis, because maybe you haven't written academically before. So you've done your work, you put it into the repository, but when you put it in, you're submitting it to your lecturer and you're submitting it way before the due date. So you're submitting it and you're checking what the score is and you're working with your supervisor to see if it's fine or not. And then your supervisor will tell you, make some changes, and then you can submit another copy and another copy. That's how it generally works, but different supervisors may work differently. So some of them don't allow you to submit after the deadline. So I would say submit it well in advance to check it, especially your dissertation, your final dissertations. That's important to have checked. The other assignments that you do, I don't know how they'll set it up. Actually, I must speak to Dashian and find out how the GSB have been working on it. Okay, so the point of Turnitin is to submit and get a score and see what it is. If there's plagiarism in it, if you've taken too much off the internet, you need to change some things. That's the purpose of it. All right. Are there any software licenses for MS Office available for UKZN? Yes, we use Office 365. That should be freely available to you guys once you log in. I think I can show you how that works. Let's see how we're doing for time. So Office 365 is a web version of Word, PowerPoint, Excel Access. So it's available to you guys free. All right, so there is a version for you. To access Enabler, you will need, okay, Cleason's responding. Kindly repeat how you create a UKZN account. You don't create a UKZN account. One is created for you. When you register, an account is created for you. You need to log into our systems and change your password for the first time. So you don't create a UKZN account. That will be your student number at stu.ukzn.ac.za. Okay? How to change your Turnitin password when you already have an account. How to change your Turnitin password. Why would you want to change your password if you already have an account? Just keep the same password. Okay. Unless you want to change it, then you can say forgotten password. They'll send you a link and then you can reset it if you wanted to. But I won't understand. I can't understand why you'd want to change your password. But that's how you would do it. It'll be resetting your password, right? MS Office first. Oh, Crescent talked about Office 365. Good, 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 good. Okay, very quickly, let me show you a few things. Let me open up my browser. Let's show you. Okay, let me share my screen first. Using Teams or using Zoom. Okay, share. Mm, New window. Okay, I just want to move this thing because it's kind of in the way. Let's move that there. Okay, so learn 2025.ukzn.ac.za. So you can see that I've accessed my browser. I'm going to learn 2025. Okay, so I want to log into this. The top right-hand corner is my login. So I click on login. So please don't use Chetty V6. That's not you. And then so I'm logging into my Moodle. So yours would be your student number and your password. Right, so I click login. Okay, so it takes me in. I'm in. Okay, so here you can see it's a learning management system, right? Very basic, very easy. Some of the things you need to know about. On the top left-hand corner, my courses. So when you click on my courses, it'll show you all the courses. Well, obviously, I'm not registered for any courses, so let's go back to home. When you click on my courses, it'll bring up all the courses you're registered for. Now, very important to remember, let's say you have 4 courses in the first semester, but you only see 3 here. There's nothing wrong. All it means is 3 lecturers have put up content already and they've made the course available to you. The 4th lecturer has not done it as yet. So please don't frantically start emailing the whole world and saying you have a problem. Just chill. When you meet that lecturer, ask them if it's up on Moodle. If they say yes or no, then it won't be anything to do with your registration. If you registered for one module, you registered for all your modules. All right. So I know postgrad is a tough time, but you'll get through it. But like I said, the GSB are well organized. You guys are in good hands. Uh, so that's where you'll see all your courses. Right. I wanted to show you what a course looks like. Let me do, is there an ISTN 101? Oh, I can't even remember any courses. ISTN 103. Let me think of a course. Uh, no, no courses here. I can't remember any courses. Just to show you what a course looks like. Um, it must have been on some Moodle site recently. Kristen, you got a course code that I can go into quickly?
First,
Let's
you can
see.
try Bio 101.
So B OL 101. Let's put in W1. Maybe that'll help. No.
Please do a search for BIOL.
Oh, BIOL. Yeah, OL 101, W1. I don't know why I don't have access to any of these courses. Let's try here. Can you find me a course code, Kristen? But Bio 101 is a course, right? Uh, let's try Econ 201. I'm just guessing now. Oh, maybe, hold on, the GSB should have a course code. Let's see. Let's see the GSB. Yes, Pramila, you can just speak. Pramila, you can go ahead. You can ask your question. Are you giving me a high five? get a
Sorry,
chat.
Vasu, Pramila has a code for you on
Oh.
the chats session. GSO
GSO
B8
B8
FRWB1.
B1.
FRWB1, yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
I don't think I've got access to these modules. I don't know why.
I think so too.
I don't know why I don't have access to these, but maybe I need to do more work. Let's try here. I have no idea why I can't see any of these courses. I just want to show you what a course looks like. So it's easy to navigate, right? You'll see there'll be notes and Kristen, are you logged on to anything? There's the chat.
Sorry, Vasu, I am logged on.
You want to open up, you want to share your screen and open up one of the modules.
I will. I'll do that now.
Imagine that. I'm not a manager on any of these modules. Let me stop my share and then increase and I have a sandbox. Sure. Okay, so you can see Krisen's screen, right? So Krisen, just go to any course, go to the GSB module that one of the students put in. Don't use bio, use this. Use that GSO. Just copy that one and put it in. Copy it, Kristen. Copy it. Oh, there we go. There's a whole list of courses. So hold on, before you click on any of these things, so I just want to show you all something, right? Now you see these courses, the name of this course is 2025 GSOB, but this course is grayed out, which means this lecturer hasn't made it available to you as yet. That's why you can't see it. If it was blue, like how this blue Westphal link is, that means it's available to you. So none of these courses have been made available. So I saw a student saying that they registered, but they can't see any courses because the lecturer hasn't made it available. So I don't know if it's the best idea to go into it. Maybe go into Doug's course. I know Doug can fight with me, so it's all right. Yeah, let's just check.
I'm not there.
Okay, okay. So you can see it's a standard. That's fine. Just go into it. Okay. So remember, the faculties haven't started yet. That's why they courses are all grayed out. Right. Oh, so there's a course here. Well, this one's a bit fancy, but I don't. Lots of them don't do it like this. So don't be. This is going to be a bit fancy. Usually, it's just a standard course. So the lecturers put in all their content for you guys, information, activities, assignments, due dates. So this is very fancy, actually. I just wanted you to see a standard sort of site. But this is where you'll have all your information. So it's easy to navigate. You log into it. You click on your courses. It'll show you all the content. It'll become familiar to you. Yeah. So this is what a course will generally look like. So you'll have the courses. It'll be hidden from you. This one is hidden. There'll be topics here. There'll be notes, maybe assignment information, etc., due dates, that type of thing will be on Moodle. But when you meet your lecturers, they will discuss. All you need to know is how you access the platform. That's all you need to do. Okay. Thanks, Kristen. So that was Moodle, right? Quick and easy. Let me show you. Turn it in quickly. 1 second. Let me just share my screen. Share. Let's go back here. Share. Okay, so I'm going to do turnitin.com. Okay. So you can see my Canadian screen, right?
Yes, I can see a Turnitin screen.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna log in. I put my email address in, JDV6, put my password in, and I log in. But you as a student now, you'll see a different screen. So you won't just ignore this, right? Let me change this. Let me change this. Student. So when you log in, you'll see something that looks like this, a student screen. And remember, I said your lecturer would have given you a username and a password to enroll in a class. So you click here, enroll in a class. And you put your class ID and your password. And when you submit it, you will attach yourself to that lecturer's account. That's how you can submit all your assignments to them. And they can check it and pass comments, etc., etc. All right, so Canadian, I can show you quickly. Let's log out. The create a user screen. So log in. I'm a new user. I'll click new user, and you'll choose a student option because you're a student. There's a class ID and that password that you need from your lecturer. Your first name, your email address. Please make sure you use your student email address. So what we do is if students do use a Gmail or private, anything that's non-UKZN, every 6 weeks, I think, we go onto a database and we delete all those accounts. So whatever documentation you have in that account gets wiped out. So if you don't have another copy of it lying somewhere, it's gone. Okay, so everything gets deleted. So please use your UKZN student credentials. First name, last name, exactly like how I showed you, right? Email address, password. Oh, there's the questions. First song you slow dance to. Ish, some of you have to go way back in time. Who's the author? So like I said, first model of your car. I think name of your childhood best friend. That also would have changed. First movie you saw. It was Mother's. It was a maiden name, yeah. What song? What street you could make a model, superhero, best friend, first place you traveled to. Ish. They took out the question. It was used. I think I over promoted it. Okay. So you pick a question. Please remember also the answer needs to be typed out exactly like how you're typing it out here. So please just be careful. All right. First movie you saw, first album you bought. Ish. I don't know. Okay. You'll answer the thing. Whatever you type it out here, please make sure it's identical if you forget your password when they ask you these questions. And then you click I'm not a robot, your account is created. Boom, bang. So I thought the session will be much quicker than this. I'm sorry it took so long, but let us take some questions. Let me stop sharing. That's the first thing. Okay, let's take some questions. Tiesto. TIA said so. All prescribed material only available on our website. I've not received any links. I've sent an email to the course administrators and they said links up at 5. I'll receive Monday. I also receive links from Monday to Wednesday. Too few tabs open. My bad.
Hi,
I'm-
Vasu. Sorry to cut you. We
no problem.
only have 4 minutes, so maybe let me just take a chance to answer some of these questions because they're directed to us. Prescribed material will be found on our website, and the session links for Thursday have been sent by the administrators. I see some of you say you don't have the links. I'll ask our administrators tomorrow morning to resend to everyone so that you receive those. I think I've covered those. I haven't seen any more questions for Vasu.
Gina, very quickly, I just want to show them. They were asking how
Yes.
they access the emails. ukzn.ac.za. You go to the website, quick links, click on student. There must be other shorter ways to do this, but I'll just show you what I think I know. Click on student. It takes you to the student portal, and there's a whole lot of information here for you. How to apply, status check, study at UKZN, timetable, lecture timetables. Ish, how's my luck? They won't have student. Oh, there's it here. Student email. Okay. So there's a whole lot of information here for you. Library, rules for students, shuttle times. if you're traveling. Oh, I don't know if you come onto campus. Okay, I think that's it. I'm done. If there are any questions for me, I will take questions. Sorry. Is it important to get student cards? Yes, very important to get student cards. If you come onto campus, you're going to need a student card. If I was my lecture, I wouldn't miss any. Yes, I do lecture, but not in the GSP, unfortunately. Ensure on the campus, that's taken care of. Since some of our UKZN emails are not set up, unable to. No, you're. So hold on, let's just address this quickly. Since some of our UKZN emails are not set up, it's set up. Once you register, automatically your account would have been created. So you would have access to your emails. You just need to be able to access them. Like I showed you now how you would access them, right? You're unable to access them. Can we please get a presentation or private email? So get into the habit of sorting your UKZN email addresses out. Even if it means phoning in tomorrow morning to sort it out, do that. Don't use your private email because then you're going to start confusing things. So my suggestion is to call in the morning and sort it out. But also try that method that I showed you. Click on student. Let's do it quickly. Hold on. Let's click on student email. So there, go to my UKZN.
You need to share your screen, Vasu.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. So
Click on login.
one back. Student email. So you know how I got here, right? UKZN.ac.za. Quick links. I clicked on student. It brought me to the student portal. And I'm clicking on student email. Then it says, click on this link. And then you pray. And then it should open up.
Click on login.
I want it to open. I think it's not opening.
Yeah, you need to click on login.
But it needs to open up this link, right? Sorry.
No, you need to click on login from the screen.
Click on login. Sorry, click on login. I thought I wasn't playing hard enough. Okay, it'll take you to the screen, and then you click on.
On the top corner, there's 8 or 9 squares. On the top left corner,
Yeah.
you find
And then
your software in there.
Outlook.
Outlook and your Microsoft Word software to download as well.
So that's how you'll access your Office 365 as well, right? I'm not going to open my Outlook because I definitely don't want you to see my email. All right. I think we made good time. Where do we get student cards? Okay, that's sorted out. How does one take a student card? Okay, it's important. Okay, any other questions? We're done. Sorry, I kept you so long, guys.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
They seem to have really enjoyed your presentation. Thank you so much for everyone for coming through. And Kristen, thank you for stepping up. We'll see you guys tomorrow for a research presentation, and then on Wednesday for the library services presentation. And then Thursday, you have all your program academic leaders sharing what your course look like for the year. Yeah, have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks, Vasu.